Hi you guys, this is Guide 3 Part 2 and I'm going to get through this as efficiently as possible. I have an ad on the right here, which is my completed ad, and the template file is on the left. Both of those are layers in the student file that I've given you. Your job is to make what I've done here on the right hand side as close as possible. Sometimes your text won't match up in the body text. Your lines won't match up to this. Don't fret over it, okay? As long as it starts with the past decade and as long as it ends with don't worry, we'll take care of everything right here, okay? You'll be okay. I'll make mine try to match a little bit better, and you can work at it, but don't make it like a big point here, okay? Now I have a hard copy of this file so I can actually do some of these numerical inputs. I suggest you put one on your screen, or you print out this hard copy, this PDF, so you can make any kind of notes that you want. But I'm going to put it on the other screen and bring it back on this screen and refer to it, but we're going to get right into it. You're to have everything else locked up, and you're to work on the your layer. I'm going to turn off the completed ad, turn on the template, and these are things that you're going to use on here to actually make the position of things happen. And then over here to the other side is the body copy that you're going to use for all the text. But let's get right into it. And the very first thing is, in fact, I'll bring it over, is that you're going to bring in the picture, this horse picture, this poster picture, and you're going to use the lower right proxy on the transform palette for the X and Y coordinates and the width and the height. So let's do that right now. Let's take this and click on the your layer. Let's make sure everything is locked up. I've already named it Brian. I made my own save as file, and I'm going to go up to file and go down to place, and I'm going to locate the horse scan picture, which is right in the student folder. It's right there, see it? And I'll double click it, and then I'll just click it anywhere. Then I'm going to use the transform palette, and it says to go on the X coordinate of 10.2, and I'm going to tab to the other one of 12.7, which is the Y coordinate. Then I'm going to tab over to the width, which is 4.5, and tab to the height, which is 7.785. Let me double check that number. Oops, I said it wrong. It's 7.875. Okay, 7.875. And now, oops, I have another 5 in there. Okay, now let me hit the return key, and there is your picture. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to lock it. I'm going to go into here and lock it. Now I've already pre-made some of these shapes. Let me turn off the template layer so I can show you what I've already pre-made. In fact, I'll turn on the template layer so I can show you that I've colored them black. I've actually made this path. I drew out this path matching up to the body, where the body text is going to go. Okay, I'll even turn off the template layer so you can see what I'm talking about. Then I made this path over here where the curved line is going to be. Then I made the path already for the two shapes here. So just to get this out of the way, I've drawn those 4 shapes. I'm going to turn them off right now, and we're going to go to the next phase. So the next thing, once I have the picture in there, is it says, and I'll probably just leave this here and click to it from underneath. Okay, but it says, and I don't want to miss anything. Let me move my paper from over here so I can get to the next page. It says, make sure that the template layer is locked. Use the pen tool and try to match the curved line. I told you I already did that. Okay, so I'm going to go copy the text from Design with Printing in Mind, but you would actually turn on the template layer, you would get your pen, and starting from the top, you would put the 4 points in that are indicative of these 4 points over here, and you would draw your path. Now, I'm going to move over and I'm going to grab the words Designed with Printing in Mind, so I unlock the text layer temporarily. Please get the text so that it's not including that rest of that text line. It only goes from the D to the D. I hit Command C, I click back up to the your layer, lock up the text layer, and move back over to this text line. Now, I'm going to click on that text line, so I have to go inside it, right there. Let me turn off the template layer. find my little text line, which is over here, and let me click on it with the text on the path tool. Inside the text icon, the text tool is pretty intelligent. Okay, so it is going to know if it's supposed to make a text box, if it's supposed to go inside something. There's an icon that shows up, and right here it's telling me it's the text on the path tool. You could go to the type on a path tool if you wanted to, but I'm going to stay in the type tool and just click on that line. Now I'm going to hit Command V to paste. Now what I want to do is to show you what this is indicative of, but before I do that, this says before you do anything else, hit paste, which I just did, add a space, and then press Option 8 for a bullet, then to add another space and do it again, and then to add another space and hit paste again. And then it wants me to edit that line and make it a certain size. So let's do it right away. So before I click away from it, with the text cursor flashing here, let me hit space, Option 8, Command V. I did it right. Space, Option 8, Command V. And now I have 3. You know what? I don't think I put the spaces in there correct, as silly as that sounds. Let me move forward here and make my space and actually give it the space that's needed. And let me now add the space. I didn't even do that right. Okay, that's okay. And now I forgot the space over here. So let me click and add the space. Okay. Now I've got that the way that it's supposed to be, and now I'm going to click to the direct selection tool, and I'm going to show you how to move it up, and we're going to align the top of the D when we get it right with the guide that's up there. Now if you look here in this, I'm going to fast forward all the way in this to the next page right here. This shows you that the upper guide, and let me move it here. See how the D for the text line I'm working on, for the type line I'm working on, see how the corner of the D here and then the eventual headlines just touch that upper guide? So please keep that in mind as you're making your file, but let's go back to where we're supposed to be, which is right here. Let me click back to the Illustrator file, and then I'm going to turn on the guides, which is to go to View, Guides, Show Guides, or Command semicolon. Now, I'm not going to use that guide yet. I'm going to actually format my line. So with my direct selection tool, let's grab that upper icon. Let me show you what I'm working on. I'm going to grab this and move it up to the top as high as I want to move it, so I at least have space to put in the other ones, but I'm not going to finish my edit there yet. Now, I want to make sure that the bottom one has gone all the way to the bottom. If your bottom one here, this indicator, hasn't gone all the way to the bottom, then some of your text could hide and not show up. So actually make it go to the bottom. What's the middle one for? The middle one actually reverses it and puts it on each side of the line. So just so you know, okay? Let me hit Command S to save the file. Now, with it selected, so let me select it again, I'm going to go and make the edits. So now it says the font is Arial regular at 30 points with a tracking of 52 and a horizontal scale of 80. Then it needs to get sky pink for the color, and then each bullet gets background red. But each bullet also goes back, look at here, each bullet also goes back to 100% scale. So I have that on my page that I'm looking at. So I can click to here, and with that selected, let's go into the character palette, and let's type in Arial, and let's go Arial regular, and let's make the font size, I'm looking over here, it's 30 points. I have to make sure the indicators are selected. Okay, there we go. I had to make sure the indicators were selected. In fact, that's a good thing that I made a mistake. Look at how with a direct selection tool, you can click on the path, which this has nothing to do with paths, right? Or I can click on the text of it. Now that I'm on the text of it, I'll make it say Arial. Now it's Arial. Now I'll drag across and I'll put in 30 for the font size, and it's 30. Now I'm going to make the horizontal scale. After I make the tracking 52, the horizontal scale is going to go into 80%. So let's go like this. Now I've got it all done. Now look at how the last line has gone right here. Now the whole thing is supposed to go to the sky pink color. Okay, now I actually put the stroke in there, and that was a mistake. I need to click the fill and then click the sky pink. I don't want to add a stroke to it. Now I'm supposed to take the text tool, marquee that, put it back at 100%, and color it that blue. So let's go over to here and let's do the upper one. Let's marquee that. Let's take, with the text tool, let's take it to 100% and click the purple. And now you can see how my bullets look good and my text line looks good. Let's hit Command S to save the file. And now let's see how it matches with the one that's on the other one. But, and here's the big but, I want to make sure when I go up that the top of the D is kissing the top of that guide. So let me click this, grab this indicator and move it down. Look how I'm doing that. And now I can judge whether this thing, actually I can't. Now I can judge, in fact let me zoom closer and really make my edit good. Now that's touching perfectly. Okay, now I can kind of expect that if I turn on this template layer, this completed ad, that it'll match up. Now it's not matching up. So what I have to do is make it bigger or smaller on the tracking. Now look at how my handout said to make it 52, but I'm actually making it 54, and look at how well that's matching up on 54. So everyone's is going to be slightly different. So what I want you to do is match up your top up here, then go down and match your bottom by raising or lowering the tracking. So save your file, go in, and now Brian's going to lock that up and turn off the completed ad. And now let's go on to the next thing. Okay, so the next thing says, let's make our character styles. First one I'm going to make is called body text. Then I'm going to copy it and make a drop cap. And it's going to be for the eventual body text that's over here in working in conjunction with that picture. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the template layer. Look what I'm actually sketching out here. I've already drawn it and it's right here. So I've got it drawn. You have to go ahead and, starting with your pen tool, you have to draw that shape all the way around. Okay, I don't want to because it would take too much time on screen. But let me turn off the template layer and let me use my shape that I drew. And let's go over here again and unlock the text layer. Now the assignment guide says highlight. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm totally getting ahead of myself. Before I actually do anything, let's make the character styles. So in the character style thing right here, I need to make the body text have these numbers and the drop cap have these numbers before I even make anything. So let's click this icon down here or go up to here to make a new character style. In the new character style, let's name it body text with no spaces. Let's click basic character formats. Let's put the font family as Arial. Let's make it say regular. I'm looking over at my other page. Let's make it say 14 points. Let's make the leading be 15.8. Let's make the tracking, as according to page 2 on the handout, 30. Let's now find where in advanced character formats I can do the horizontal scale to 80. And the color is horse purple. So let's go to horse purple and say OK. Now I've got this made perfectly. Now all I have to do is pick it up and duplicate it, double click it, name it drop cap, because it has all the inherent things except we have to add a -2 point baseline shift and change the color to sky pink, and the font size to 18. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's take this, click Basic Character Formats up to 18 points. Let's go to Baseline Shift of -2 and a character color of, what did I say? Sky pink. Let's click OK. So now I have both my body text character style and my drop cap. Let's hit Command S to save the file. Now, let me move this over back to where I had it. So let's make it skinnier and ship it right in there so it slips right in there. Now let's zoom into this, and I'm going to grab from the T on the to the end of the period right here. Okay, I want to make sure I back out of it far enough. Let's move this over so I can go like that. Let's go like this so maybe I can get a little bit closer. Let me hit the T key, make sure that it's unlocked. Let's grab from the T on here all the way to the period right down here and hit Command C. Now let's click up to the Your layer. Let us lock up the text layer and hit Command S to save the file. And now let's move over to our body text. Hopefully it will match up the completed ad. Okay, close enough that I'll be happy. All right, so now let's look at how the icon changed. See how the text icon up here is a straight I-beam? See how it's now a circle? So when I click inside and hit Command V to paste, I have my text. Now my handout says to make sure that the picture, the thing I'm turning on and off, is on top and the text is underneath. So click on your picture first. With your picture selected, I have to unlock it. With your picture selected, make the text wrap. Look, Object, Text Wrap, and let's make. Now I go to Object, Text Wrap, Options, and I make it say 16 points and click OK. Now I hit Command S to save the file. Now, let's take the text. Let's lock up the picture now. Let's take the text and let's click on the body text. So now I have it. I have it in there. Now, all I have to do is marquee each of the little beginning letters and hit the drop cap style. Now, hopefully, when I get it done, it will be close enough that I'll be happy that it matches up. If it doesn't match up for me, as long as it starts with the right words and ends with the right words, I don't really care if it matches up perfectly. I don't, honestly. And I'm not going to take the time to try to do it, so I think I'm going to be fairly close. So let's take this, marquee across, and let's hit the drop cap style. Now, let me go back. Let me manually select the direct selection tool. Now, I'm going to turn on the template layer below it and see how close we are. Wow, I'm really close. I did really good. There's only a couple of letters that are wrong. Let me see where they're wrong, even if I can see it. Let me turn off my Your layer. Popularity, I end this sentence right here with popularity in. Let's see what the sentence really ends with when I turn off the completed ad. So, popularity in is on another line. Could I make it fit? I probably could. I see, I don't want to take the time to do it. I'm close enough that it looks good. It really, really does. So let me turn this off. I'll try one thing and then I'll go away from this. Let me go to the completed ad. Let me read it. It says grown in popularity in. So in popularity in should be on the same line. Let's turn on my ad. And let's see that it says in popularity response. So I think uncoded has to go up to that other line. Okay, I'm not sure I can make it go up to that other line. Let me turn this off and turn this back on. And yes, uncoded goes up to that other line. Now it could be that that picture needs to go down one or move over just slightly. I'll try that first. I'll move it over 2. Let me hit the V key and select the picture and move it over 2 items, just 2 items. And look at how, by me moving it over just slightly, uncoded went correct. Or, I'm sorry, and in popularity in went correct. Now let's see if I'm even close at all. So let me turn on the completed ad, and I see that I fixed that sentence. Okay, I'm fine on the rest of it. I think it looks really good. So please don't get lost in it. If you want to do some small edits, I'm totally good with it. Okay. And it depends on how well your curve was matched up. But let's go on to the next thing. So I'm saving the file, and let's go on to the next thing. So the next thing is, I've done all of this. I did the text wrap to 16. Oh, it said make the offset 14. And I left it at 16. Oh, I forgot. So you know what? I need to click on the picture again, and I need to send it back 1, 2 to the left so that uncoded went back over there. But then I need to go to Object, Text Wrap Options, and instead of 16, I'm going to go to 14, and now I should have it even closer. So I don't know if I do or I don't. I probably even made it worse. Actually, I made it worse. So I'm going to Command Z back and Command Z back, and now I'm going to leave it just like this. Let me see where my completed ad is. Go back, go back, go back. And let's see if I can get that right. Let me, oh gosh, now I've made a mountain out of a molehill. Boy, did I ever mess that up. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the picture. I'm going to put it back in the right place, and I'm going to put the text wrap back on 16. So you have to play with that. So let's put this back on 16. Now let's turn on the completed ad and look at how close I am now. Okay, and uncoded in needs to move over. So I'm going to click on the picture again and go over 1, 2. And now I should be even closer than in fact, it's really nice. So I've got it all back. I'm not going to touch it anymore. Again, I don't care about it. So I don't care about the fact that it doesn't match perfectly is what I meant. So let's turn off the completed ad, and let's go to the next phase of this. So it says, go to the ellipse, draw an ellipse of any size, and then position it and make it this size. Then we're going to use the scissors tool and cut it here and here. Then I'm going to highlight the text called Design with Printing in Mind. What I'm going to do is then follow to get this to have the D's line up on the top. I'm going to follow all of these 4 edits that are on the final page. Okay, so first things first. Let's go back to this. Let's go up to here. Let me turn off the template layer. Let's go get an ellipse shape. So let's go inside the ellipse tool. Draw an ellipse of any size. Let's make sure that it's just a stroke. Okay. In fact, I don't care what color it is because it's going to end up having no color. But let's make sure that now I use the transform palette. And let's make sure that it has these transforms, 8.4 and -1.4. So I'm going to look at my other sheet, which I have to go to my other sheet now. And let me go to 8.4, tabbing to -1.4, tabbing to 15 on the width and 12 on the height. Not 123, Brian. Now, let's go here and let's see. Oh, you know what? I need to click the center, not the bottom right hand proxy. See, because it shifted it way over there. Look what it did. It put this, it used the bottom corner. This is where I want the center. So let's click the center proxy. And that's a great mistake to make. So now with the center proxy, let's reposition it to 8.4, and let's reposition it to a -1.4 and hit the return key. Now, get your scissors tool. So it says right here, your ellipse will look like this, and after you cut it, the stuff that are the dots you can get rid of. Okay, so we're going to go to the scissors tool, which is the C key. So I hit the C key. I zoom in and I cut it right here. Now I zoom over here and I cut it right here. Now I select this part that's out here with the A key with the direct select. Now watch. I hit 1 delete and 2 deletes. Now I have this text line left over right here. It's exactly where I want it. Now I go over and unlock the text. I go over to Designed with Printing in Mind, and like I told you before, only grab from the D to the D without getting that extra space and hit Command C. Click up to the Your layer, and now let's lock up the template, the text layer. And I'll save the file. Let's move over. Whoops. Let's move over. Okay, right there. Now let's click with the text tool on here and hit Command V to paste. Now it's at the bottom, so what we have to do is a couple of things. Okay, not going to take very long. So whoops, I have to get out of my tool, which means out of the text tool, put this middle marker on the other side. Now I move like this, and I want to at least position the D so it's at least starting to kiss the top of that line right there. Okay, so look what I did. Now I'm going to format that text, and we're going to see how well my format is. Now this is what I'm doing. So if I move here, and I'm going to look at my other sheet, but I'm going to go to Arial Regular, tracking at 5. Maybe I'm going to have to change it. That's what plus and minus means. Font at 68 points. Horizontal scale to 70. So let's go to Horse's Color Purple. So let's do all of that. So let's, with that selected, let's go over to here to say Arial Regular at, that's it. Switch my sheets out at 68 points. The leading at this point doesn't matter, okay? And you see how it cut it off, that I can't see the rest of the sentence? So I have to take this, in fact I'm glad I did that. I have to take this and make this go all the way to the edge. See how I did that? Okay. Now let's format it and continue the format. So I'm at 68 points with a horizontal scale of 70%. And now let's go make sure it is Arial Regular, 68 points. Tracking is at 5, so let's go to 5. And now the color is Horse Purple. So let's go to the color wherever I put it, and let's put it in at Horse Purple. Now let's move up, and let's move this so that the line is touching right up here, touching to the top. Something very strange happened there, and I don't know why I have 2 of them there. I am going to turn that off, and then I'm going to click on this one. I don't know actually where that came from. That was really strange. I'm going to delete that one out because I don't trust it. So I'm going to click on this one. For some reason it made a duplicate. I don't know why. Maybe I held Command Option and I didn't whatever, I didn't know. But I'm at Arial Regular. Let's go to Arial Regular. And so it's okay that I'm doing it again. I don't mind. 68 points. Let's go over to the tracking at 5. Let's go over to the horizontal scale at 70. And let's move this out to the end. And let us put the color on Horse Purple. And now let me see if I actually align it where it's supposed to go, and see if I'm way off base. And if I'm off base, I'll fix it. I can pause this movie and then bring back on the screen when I figure out what's wrong. Okay, I've only done this assignment about 200 times. So let's go turn on the completed add. And there is something really big time weird with this. Okay, I have it on aerial regular at 12 points, 70% on the width, at 68 points. And, oh, you know what? All my numerical inputs are actually very correct. They are exactly what they're supposed to be. So why did that go into Arial? That's not supposed to be Arial bold. Or did I supposed to make it Arial bold? Let me see. Let me turn this off and let me see if that's supposed to be Arial bold. You know what? It is supposed to be Arial bold. In fact, it's perfect. All the numbers that it's supposed to be are perfect. I mean, that's like right on the money. I said Arial regular, so my assignment guide is going to say Arial regular for the moment, but it's actually Arial bold. That was silly. Okay, so now I'm going to turn off the completed add, and we're going to make the second one. Okay, now for what it says for the second one, just copy and paste it, put in the numerical values, change the point size, and adjust the tracking. So the second one gets to be background red. Okay, so this is what I want you to do. Click on the first one, Command C and Command V. Let it paste in wherever. Again, I selected the path, not the line of text. So now that I have the line of text, I hit Command C, then I hit Command V, and it should be pasting in. Okay, this is really strange. Okay, what am I actually grabbing there? Illustrator is doing something very strange, and it's okay. It probably should be restarted. But do you see how I have this headline selected? It's not showing me that it is selected right here. That should be the headline right there. And I don't have the headline in that same thing. So that is really odd. I'm going to move that and see where it goes. I'm going to put it back. It says it's in my layer, but it's actually not in the layer. Okay, I had to actually click on the, this tells me that Illustrator is getting ready to quit. So what I'm going to do is save the file. I'm going to quit Illustrator because that is something that I should do when it's working really badly. And I am going to open up Illustrator again and restart right from there. So when you're working and your file seems to not be working right, please save and quit and reopen. And now let's go see if it's right. So let's go open the same ad. Now when I select that, it should select no problem. Okay, and that's probably why I was getting some error messages before. So let's make sure that this is on the top of that line. So I hit the A key before I begin. Oh, actually it was right on the money. So let me Command Z back. Okay, now let's take the V key and click Command C and Command V. See, that's what it should have done. So when Illustrator's not working right, don't panic, but just do the right thing. Okay, save, quit, and restart. So now let's go to 7, 1.8, width 7.9, and 3.64. So let's make sure we do all of that first. So let's go use the transform palette, if I can find it. Let's marquee across, and it says 7, tabbing to 1.8, tabbing to 7.9, and tabbing to 3.64. Now, let us make the Before we check it against anything, we're going to make sure the D lines up. We're going to make it be the brick red so we can get that done right away. But now we have to make it fit to the exact size. So you know what? The very first thing I was supposed to do was to scale it to 80%. So, and I remembered I probably did that manually. So I hope I'm not confusing you, but I'm going to delete what I have. I'm going to grab the original and hit Command C and Command V again. Now, I'm going to just move it somewhere. I'm going to double click the scale tool and I'm going to scale it to 80%. So it's over here on my other window. I'm going to scale it with what the handout says is to 80%. Now, without moving it in position, okay, I am going to change the font size to the proper size. It says it's supposed to be 50 points. It says it's supposed to be the color is background red. It says the tracking has gone from 5 to 18. And it says that the horizontal scale is still at 70%. Now I'm going to put it at the proper width and the proper height. So the X and Y coordinate. So it goes to 7, then it goes to 1.8, then it goes to 7.9. I'm already at 7.9158, so I'm going to make it go to 7.9 and 3.64. So I've now done my homework on it. Let's zoom in, grab the text and put the D right where it's supposed to go, right there. Now let's see how it looks with the other one. So let's go to the completed ad and look at how I'm almost right on the money. Now, let me change the color of it just temporarily to black. Now look what I can do. I can take this in the tracking, which was 18, and I can now make it 20. Do you see how I custom fit it so it fits to the completed ad? Let me turn off the completed ad and let's now put it back on brick red. Now let's take this one that we did, click away and click back. Let's do it right. Okay, Command C and Command V. Let's double click the scale tool and make it 80%. Now I go with the third edit, which is right here. Okay, the third edit is right here. So we make it 36 points at 28 on the tracking. So let's take this and make it instantly to 36 points with 28 on the tracking, with 70%, with the X ruler being 7.85 by 1.43. I'll tab it to 6.3. I have 6.32. And tabbing finally to 2.84. Now, that should be matching up. Let me check all my numbers. My thing here's changed. I'm going to put it back on 70%. Now, let me see if I'm even close to my completed ad. The answer is no until I move this to the front. So let's grab this with the A key. Let's put it where it's supposed to go to match up right there. Let's now look over here and let's increase the tracking on this one until it matches the one behind it. So it goes here, 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 all the way to here. Whoops, too far. To here. Now this one gets the color of sky pink. Now I can turn off the completed ad. Now let's finish it after I hit Command S to save the file. How do we do it? We click it, Command C and Command V. Leave it alone. Double click the scale tool to 80%, hit the return key. This one will put it in position so at least you can see the edits that are going to go in. So it's 8.55, tabbing to 1.25, tabbing to 4.95, tabbing to 2.126. Now it's almost in position, okay? I might as well take this, even though it's going to change, put it up on the top of that right here so it kisses it correctly. Now I have to look at the font size. The font goes down to 26 points. It's just a little too big. So let me double click that and put in 26 points. Now let me move this over so we can see it. Okay. Now the tracking, which was on 42, goes to 28 again. At least I'm going to start with 28. Okay. Now the horizontal scale is got to go down to 70. And let me make sure that stays at 28, 26. Everything is correct. Let's turn on the completed ad. And now with the completed ad on, I believe I'm right on the money already. So let me turn off the completed ad and look at how that is perfect. That is right on the money. Let me zoom in. I'm actually gonna change the color on it for a second so you can see when I turn it off. Let me make sure it's the right one. Okay, look at how well that actually matches up. Okay, that happens on a screen resolution sometimes. Illustrator is acting funny again, and it's probably because I have this movie on, and the movie is causing this to happen. Okay, even though I'm turning that off, look at how it won't go off till I enlarge the screen. Okay, so that's probably because I'm working in a movie file. But I'm going to put this on Sky Pink Light, and now I'm pretty much done. All I have to do is take those other shapes, which I've already got drawn, and fill them with the Sky Pink. Okay, so that's really all I have to do. So let me turn off the completed ad. Everything lines up. I'm going to turn off the, I'm sorry, I said turn off the completed ad. Now, let's go in and turn on the shape that I had over here to the side. Let me move the transform palette. Let me click on the first shape and the second shape that I drew. Click on them just like that. Remove the stroke and add the fill of pink. And now I even think it's the lighter pink. And now there's the completed ad. That's my ad. Let's now turn on, that's the your ad layer. Let's now turn on the completed ad and see how well I did. It's just about perfect. So please, if you have to do some of these parts again, rewatch this movie, but take some time with this because Illustrator and the Transform palette are very good to get to know. And I want you to understand how to use the Character Styles palette like I did, okay? So good luck, and I'll see you on the next assignment.